The emptiness and shame she felt inside, what she had thought would fulfill her, had devastated her. Lisa looked at her calendar. When did she ever stop running here and there and everywhere? She was beginning to realize that her busyness was really her way of ignoring the loneliness she felt inside. What she had thought would distract her had depleted her. Kay looked at her office wall. So many signs of achievement surrounded her. Yet she felt more anxious than ever. She was always looking to meet the next deadline, always hoping she would measure up, always fearing failure. What she had thought would lead to prestige and popularity left her feeling even more insecure. Tammy looked at her children. She had thought motherhood would make her happy, but after hours of sitting in carpool lines, shopping for the latest designer clothing, sitting on the sidelines cheering them on in their games, and trying to steer them in the right career directions, she realized she had poured so much into them that she hadn't taken time to do much else. She had elevated her role of motherhood so much that she had neglected other important priorities and relationships, especially her relationship with the Lord. What she had thought would fulfill her had frazzled her. Perhaps you, like me, can relate to one of these women. What they are doing is not new. It's as old as what Eve did in the garden and what Israel did in the wilderness in the Promised Land. Ponder the Lord's word through Jeremiah. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewn themselves cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13. In Jeremiah's day, there were three sources from which Israel could obtain water. First, they could have fresh spring water. This was the best of the best. Think of the best water you've ever tasted from a bottle. However good you thought it would pale in comparison to the fresh running water found in Palestine. Second, Israel could have had well water. This wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best either. Think about coming in from a hot day and drinking a glass of water that had been sitting on the counter all day. Certainly water, even when it's room temperature, will do when you're thirsty, but it's not nearly as refreshing as a cool glass of water from the refrigerator. Finally, Israel could obtain runoff water that had collected in a cistern. This was a pit cut into the limestone and then plastered to prevent water from leaking. These cisterns could also collect sediment and mosquito larvae. The only thing worse than drinking a cistern's water would have been trying to drink from a broken cistern. In a broken cistern, no water would remain at all, only silt and larvae. I don't know any woman who would put a water bottle up to her mouth and chug down silt and larvae. And yet, figuratively, many of us are doing just that. We are hewing out cisterns for ourselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Understanding why we do this and the danger of doing this will help us say no the next time the world, our flesh, or the devil offers us a broken cistern. Part 1. Broken cisterns lead to... Chapter 1. An Imperfect World. It was a hot summer Saturday, and my husband and I had decided to take our 4 children to 4 different places after having lunch at home. We committed to keeping the final 2 destinations a surprise. We had a return to make at Staples, and we needed an item at Home Depot, so these were our first 2 non-surprise stops. We were hoping to get in and out of each store relatively quickly, so we could move on to the better surprises. But our younger